get people to sign in for some time, and finally we got the Vice President from South Africa to come here for 3 days, only to present about Skål and talk about Skål, about training people who will become a member so we can start to have a club as a Skål International. I think for now we have Rashid was the second one to be the Skål. He's already an individual member. Then Rashid. And then we have Julia. She's here. Elizabeth, she's also a member. Ali, he's a member. Saif, he's becoming a member. And Nasser also here have signed the paper a long time ago. But I'm happy you're here. And many more people are here to see and hear what is it about. The idea of Skål for me is to introduce Zanzibar business people in outside world. That's, we have Zati, we have Zato, we have everything here, but in outside, most of us, we don't have any club we belong to. Meet your friends or something. But now, when you are Skål, you can meet people who are in the same business with you, and not only people, but also the same level as yours, a business partner or directors or managers in a different area. You can have people to talk, you can have people to meet. It's kind of like a very interesting thing. For me, it has given me a lot of benefit, and that's the reason I wish that my fellow Zanzibari people who are here and other people who are living in Zanzibar to get also the benefit. It's a huge network and there's so much business inside. So, and I wish that you will be interested. So from here on, I would like to welcome Yvonne, please, and she can show us a bit about Skål. And if you have any question, she is the vice president. She knows better than me. So if you have any question, it's her. She has been traveling around the world. She has her own business, and I believe she is very interested to make sure that Africa is developing more clubs, because everywhere in the world there is more clubs except in Africa. We have in Kenya, Nairobi, Mombasa, Uganda, Nigeria, but not Tanzania and South Africa. In South Africa there are like 500 members in South Africa. I think in Tanzania, the whole Tanzania, if I'm not mistaken, there are like 10 people. So, but now we need to start. In Mombasa, there are a lot of members and a lot of people. And luckily, they will have a Congress, World Congress in October 17 to 21st, to 21. The Skål Congress will be in Mombasa, and over 1,000 people will arrive in Mombasa. And I already get a request that people want to come to Zanzibar pre-Congress or after Congress. Over 300 people already have sent me email they want to come to Zanzibar. So it's very important for us to have a club, so we'll be introduced Zanzibar outside. So we are not, I don't want to make people tired to listen to me. I can talk until tomorrow. So please.
I just first, before we chat, just want to, I don't know if all of you know that it's Hamis's birthday today. It's turning 50.
Oh.
So I do think we should wish him, because he's done a lot of work for all of us to get together. Happy birthday, and I hope you have many, many, many more as a Skål member. Also, secondly, we before any function, if at any Skål event, we do the Skål toast. And sometimes it looks as though we're some cloak and dagger sort of organisation saying it. But just follow me. This is what we do at every function before we have any function. Skål, whether it be Skål. Friendship. Friendship. Long life.
Long life.
Skål.
Skål.
Okay. Can you just switch this? Can you just switch it off? Because I think you've seen all of these. do a lot of lectures. I've written a lot of training material for the students in South Africa. I'm also a facilitator and moderator and assessor for the portfolio of evidence for tourism students. I had my own radio show as well, once a week. So my passion for tourism and travel has been there all along. I come from a family of hospitality and tourism. That is my blood. So I'm just as passionate about tourism as I am about Skål International. When we say what is Skål International, and I'll talk to you from the word go because there isn't a Skål presence here in Zanzibar. Skål International was started in 1934 by a man called Florimond Volker, who got together a whole bunch of men who wanted to network and exchange ideas about their industry. It then got bigger and bigger and bigger as we are today. It is the largest travel and tourism organisation in the world. Nobody compares to us. We are the only organisation that represents every sector of the travel and tourism industry. I'm sure it's the same here in Zanzibar. In South Africa we have an association only for retail agents, an association for hoteliers, an association for car hire, and an association for travel insurance. We combine all of that. So we combine every sector of the travel and tourism industry. We go by membership categories, and each and every year we assess these membership categories and we look at bigger and different membership categories. We have at the moment just under 15,000 members worldwide, okay, in 400 different clubs in 87 countries. That is a huge presence. Our slogan is doing business amongst friends. And I'm sure all of you know that the most effective networking in business takes place around a social event, whether it's being with a glass of wine, a meal, and sitting socially. You know, it's very difficult to make an appointment with somebody who you've heard of, and then you've got to get through a secretary to get you an appointment, go through a contact, then they cancel. Yeah, you're talking to people of like-mindedness, your target market, and you're doing it one-on-one in a social event. That's what we aim at. It doesn't mean that all we do is we drink and eat and have fun. We do combine that with business. We have the organogram of Skål is that we have the members at the base. We have the club president of each club. The more a country has different clubs in areas in the one country, we have a national president. And each national committee and club is represented on an international platform called the International Skål Councillors. And that means that you have a say, no matter how small your club is, how big your national committee is, on the running of Skål International. Those international councils are headed by an international president, and we sit at the top as 6 members on the executive committee, and we then oversee and facilitate the membership. We'd like to think that it is a membership-driven organisation, so the ideas, the democracy, the voting, and all of that would come in from the bottom. Our head office is in Spain, in Torremolinos. We have a CEO. We have just appointed her. She's been there for 2 years, and she goes and gives us the strategy and the vision, the visibility out there in the market, and the sponsorships for allowing us what to do. She then reports to us as the executive committee, and that's how we disseminate the information through to the organisation. So that is how and what Skål is. Now, all of you would say to me, oh, here we go, here's my picture, there it is. When you all say to me, what are my benefits? The biggest, you know, when I'm traveling around the world, people say, oh, you know, I'm so tired of organizations, what do they give me? What do they give me? You know, I can do my own thing. You're probably right that you could probably do your own thing. There's no arguing with that. But we've got to remember that, we all know that, is tourism is the biggest generator of income. It's sometimes difficult for your government to believe that, isn't it? You know, you're working and yeah, they say, oh, tourism is the biggest generator, it's the biggest growth industry, it's the biggest growth area. But you need to have a public and private association to be able to get anywhere. That's what we're hoping would help. Also, you have to know that unity is strength. There is nothing nicer than knowing that all of you are a member of one organization, that you can lean on each other, use each other, be guided by one another, be enthused and inspired by one another. And that's what you've got to keep in mind when you're forming a group and forming a club. With your Skål membership, if you are a Skål member in Zanzibar, remember you're a Skål member throughout the world. Now where this happens and where it becomes so effective is when you are wanting to go and promote your product, whether it be an establishment, a service, a supplier, anywhere in the world. You have got that ticket to say you're a Skål member. You've already got your one foot in the door. And I can tell you a lot of tangible things of examples that it has helped with people that I've come into contact with. When we look at here, your first and biggest membership benefit is when you become a member, you're allocated a membership number, and with that membership number, you have access to all the details of those 15,000 people on the database. That for me is one of the most unique selling points of Skål International. You have to understand getting 15,000 members' details for your target market, for your like-minded industry is a huge thing. We are enhancing that membership benefit because you might want to put in, and I'm just giving you an example, you might be a tour operator who's bringing in people from anywhere in the world. You want to go and do a marketing, you want to go and give them a specialized tour to come to Zanzibar. You want to just aim at a certain group in Croatia, a certain group in Canada. You have access to it by just putting your number in. I can tell you there are two people that have based their entire business on the Skål database. Are any of you aware of the Katarina cruise lines in Croatia? Are any of you? She is a Skål member. She owns 26 cruise liners in Croatia, and she does her business just on the Skål membership website. Organising her marketing, organising her workshops. We have a gentleman in South Africa, the Houston travel marketing. He travels all over the world, promoting Africa in all its forms. It's called Africa Spotlight Workshops. I don't know if you've heard about them. They have them in Johannesburg and all over the world, Nordic countries, Europe and so on. He organises his entire business with his Skål database. So there's no question that that is our unique selling point. The second point that for me is of vital importance is Skål International has a barter agreement, and we are represented at the largest travel and trade shows anywhere in the world. WTN Africa, WTN London, ITB in Berlin, IMEX in Frankfurt and Las Vegas, and now WTN in South America, in Japan and Asia, and the Oceania countries. Why is that so important for us? You as a tour operator who cannot afford to have your own stand at one of these shows, I mean, they are gazillions of dollars to do that. You have access to use our Skål membership stand as a meeting point, and also to have access of all the people that are actually at the show. You know, the directory of exhibitors, the people who are speakers and so on. That's free of charge to all of you. We have a Skål Greeter program. If you are wanting to go, you're going on a business trip to Japan, you're going to Europe, you need to know, where do we get all the details? Where do you start? How do I get to all the agents? How do I get to my target market? Our Skål Greeter program has a scully in each city that there's a club, in each country, and you can use them. Go up to them, contact them, say to them, I'm so-and-so from Zanzibar, I need to come there. You are welcomed with open arms. You can attend any function, any luncheon, any official function of any Skål club in the world. That is a huge thing. You are talking now in America, for example, where there are such incredible beneficial people who are joining Skål at the moment. All from government, all top CEOs of all the big companies that are joining. Yeah, you have access just by being one-on-one as a Skål member. An example, I don't know how many of you have been to South Africa. I come from the capital city, Pretoria, And one of our biggest tourist attractions is the Floor Tracker Monument. The CEO of the Floor Tracker Monument was a Skål member. We lost entire groups of Chinese coming in, and she lost a lot of money. She came to me and she said she needs to have a contact in China. I gave her a contact. She flew to China, met with him. He gave her incredible access immediately to all the top tour operators, all the top people that she needs to know. And within 2 or 3 months, all those groups came back to her. Those are tangible benefits that we've got. We also have, for visibility, Skål International is one of the biggest visibility organizations for sustainable tourism. You all know that sustainability in tourism is the key factor at the moment, not only for the environment, but for you as a tour operator and for the locals. At our World Congress, we have a huge award ceremony. We have 9 categories, and we then appoint and get nominations in. We have 4 very prestigious judges in the sustainability, and the winners are then taken to the next level. Their visibility, it could be your establishment recycling water, it could be your tour operator redoing something. It means everything. We've got community, hotels, urban and rural. We've got 9 categories. You get more and more visibility with that. We also have a Young Skål organization, because no matter how we think about it, and it's just one of those things, and I hope I'm not going to upset anybody, our generation, for example, Generation X, the baby boomers, are a different generation to the millennials. They're looking for different things. We have to keep our organization young and going. And so how do we do it? We've got a Young Skål organization. Those are people that we can mentor. Again, mentoring, creating jobs, lifting people to program. So in South Africa, your people who are maybe waiters, people in South Africa, we have car guards. We can't leave anything alone for 2 seconds because of the crime rate. We have car guards. Those people we train and they become tourism ambassadors, and they sell the product to the normal tourism, thinking out the box. That is a Skål initiative. With Skål, we do have membership categories. We don't allow just anyone to become a Skål member. It's a little bit of an antithesis right now, because we want to attract members, but we also want normally management and at least 3 years experience in the industry. As I've said to you, we started off with the normal travel distribution channel of airlines, hoteliers, tour operators, travel agents, car hire, as well as travel insurance. We've opened it up. We've opened a whole new section on wellness travel, medical travel, sports travel, and we're going to have approval at our Congress in Mombasa on travel suppliers. That makes it, we can get a little bit of different members in there. So if you don't fit in the other categories, we can sort of wangle it in that category. That is what we are trying to do. We're trying to cover everything. Your membership, you pay a once-off membership fee. That's your annual fee. It is less than $100. And then we want you to meet at least a minimum of 10 times per annum, monthly. And that's when you can then pay extra or have members who have establishments, restaurants, hotels to showcase your product and invite and host your Skål function at there. So that is roughly what it is. I don't know if I've covered anything. The most important as well is the fact that on an international stage, Skål International has associations with the United Nations World Tourism Organization. We sit on the board of the code, which means that we are against sexual exploitation of children in tourism. We're also part of STEP with the United Nations Sustainable Tourism, Eliminating Poverty. We also are in association with PARTA. We've signed an MOU with the Pacific Asian Tourist Association. We've signed an MOU with the African Union, and we work in close contact with the International Institute of Peace through tourism. And we are also linked with eHotelia, which is going to be beneficial to all of you hotel people that are here tonight. They've got 88,000 members. We share their links through all our correspondence, vice versa between them and us. So we are associated with all of those. We meet once a year on an annual congress. It's been for the first time in Africa. It's going to be in Mombasa, 17 to 21 October. There we have, and you again have an opportunity at the World Congress where you are sitting with members throughout the globe, where we have a global marketplace, where again, for 50 euros, you can get a table and you can market and advertise your product to the world. Not only to the delegates attending the conference, but you're also dealing and selling to the locals wherever we are. We change our venue every year. We have a bidding system, so you can bid every 2 years for the congress to be held in your place. We had it in Monte Carlo just recently. We were in India last year and Hyderabad, and this year we're going to be in Mombasa. Our vision statement, I think, says it all. Our vision statement is we're a trusted voice in travel and tourism since 1934. And I think with our mission statement, it actually is in 3 parts, and it combines the 3 things that are probably most accurate for Skål. And that's through our leadership, professionalism, and friendship. We work together to enhance our vision of being a travel and tourism expert. We maximize networking opportunities, and we develop a responsible tourism industry. So in a nutshell, that mission statement is actually what we're here for. Of course, the future, we are going on a digital transformation program, which we're going to be again launching in Mombasa. Because we're a global institute, we want to be hands-on where it comes with social media, chat now facilities, being able to communicate not only at our world congresses, but actually all the time. We need help, we need assistance, we need to know what other people are doing in the industry that might enhance our way. And it's always good to share ideas. That is what's going to come in the digital transformation. We do have a set of laws and rules called bylaws and statutes. We're trying to make them less because we don't want to have tedious rules and regulations, because then that sort of passion and friendship gets taken away. But it is, we have a governance model, we have our bylaws and statutes, and that forms the basis of our organisation. I think I don't know if I've made myself clear. Are there any questions that you need to ask me? Feel free to ask me. I don't know if I've explained it well enough. Is there anything that maybe you want to know more about? That's right, yes.
Okay, so that actually happens to coincide with the first ever Zanzibar tourism show.
Oh, okay.
Here in Zanzibar, which is the 17th to the 20th of October. But you did say that there are certain people who are going to that who are interested to come over to Zanzibar afterwards.
Yeah.
So unfortunately they'll miss the whole exhibition and seminars.
Yeah.
But if they are interested in coming over, I think the 21st is the Sunday. Maybe we should try to discuss the committee of the Zanzibar Tourism Show and Skål to work out how we can make sure that we work together and welcome your members here. It's just unfortunate that the timing completely overlaps.
I know, there's always some overlapping with something. For example, we need to have it always in October for our new presidential year to go on. But it's a good idea. I think what we do is keep in touch. At every conference, we offer, the local organising committee and Skål International always offer. We have a set 4 days. We used to have a 7-day conference. We now do 4 days because people can't get away that easy. And we offer a pre and post tour, not only in Kenya, but also everywhere else. There's never a promise to how many people are going to come and how many people, you know what people are like. They always come at the last minute and they register. At the moment, registration is slow, and then towards the end of July, August, then we get all the things. But it's a good point. We'll definitely keep in mind and then let you know.
In addition to that, is that is what I'm doing together with our Mombasa team. So after the cocktail today, people have signed in. So we know how many members we have. Then I will take another step. When we are ready, I will inform all the Skål members what will happen in October. So we will put that into consideration for Zanzibar Tourism Festival. Thank you, Julia.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Also, just, not a marketing tool, but I'm telling you anyway, is that obviously for us and for me, I would love to see 20 of you sign on now and for us to start the club. I mean, that is obviously the cherry on the top. That is why we're here. I'd love to, and that's why I ask the questions, because you're going to invest, it's not a lot of money, as I was explaining to you this morning. The membership fee is not a lot. If after 12 months you find that it's not for you, it hasn't given you the return on investment, there's no contract binding. But give it a go. You need each other. Zanzibar is tourism driven. You people are like-minded. Get together. Not only is it going to be beneficial to your business, it's stacks of fun. So you get a bond. You absolutely have an underlying bond with Skål members, not only here locally, but all over. Put your efforts in, do it, get your friends to come. The thing is, you'll see, maybe it's a bit quiet in the beginning, but after 2-3 months, get people in. You have no idea what energy it can cause and what you can actually attain and benefit from a club.
Maybe you can